Treyarch just released the Rezurrection map pack, so you know what that means. It's Zombies Month. Welcome to the carnage. Hello, I'm Raging Amish, and this is Zombies Month. From day one, my reviews have always focused on the multiplayer aspect of Black Ops, but now I think it's time to switch things up a bit. Every review this month will be zombie themed. Love it or hate it, zombies is a huge part of Black Ops, so I'm going to give it the coverage it deserves. In my opinion, this game mode is Treyarch's greatest addition to the Call of Duty series. What originally started as a mini Easter egg in World at War has become a forever growing experience that quite frankly could be a game in and of itself. Zombies has an intense storyline, fast-paced gameplay, a huge arsenal of weapons, and hilarious characters. Okay, scratch that last part. Mostly hilarious characters. Zombies is incredibly complex and yet so simple. I absolutely love it. You can customize your character's loadout and select perks to cater the game more to your liking. Granted, Zombies doesn't quite match the depth of the custom loadouts you'll find in multiplayer, but the core of the game is still strong. To kick off Zombies Month, we're going to dive into the perks. I know some of you are thinking, why not review the guns first? Well, I honestly feel the perks are the best place to start. A gun doesn't do you much good if you don't have the right tools to go with it. You're limited to 4 slots by default, so you must choose your perks wisely. We've got 8 total to cover, so let's get moving. Welcome to the perks in Zombies. Perk number 1. Quick Revive.
Why? Why do you taste so bad?
Technically speaking, Quick Revive comes in 2 versions. You can play zombies alone in solo, or with friends in co-op. In each mode, Quick Revive offers different abilities. When playing solo, Quick Revive costs 500 points, meaning you can buy it right at the game's start. The perk is very simple. By default, when you take hits from a zombie, you die and the game ends. If you have Quick Revive, the game keeps going. Instead of dying, you'll drop into a second chance state and automatically be picked up in a few seconds.
I'm not dead.
Yeah, he says he's not dead.
Yes, he is. I'm not.
While down, you are equipped with dual explosive M1911s, better known as the Mustang and Sally, and the zombies will walk away from you. Ideally, when you get back up, you should have room to run. Bear in mind, you will lose all of your perks once you're back on your feet, so be careful. All it takes is 2 hits and you'll be dead for good. On top of that, your supply of Quick Revive is quite limited. You can only be picked up 3 times. When you consume Quick Revive for the 3rd time, the vending machine will up and disappear. Quick Revive is essentially a 1-up like in Super Mario Bros. It gives you 1 extra shot at staying alive. The perk's value really is quite high. Moving into co-op, however, turns Quick Revive into a completely different story. In said mode, the perk costs 1500 points and has a lesser effect than it does in solo play. Quick Revive will now double the rate that you pick up a downed ally. And that's it. Quick Revive was mandatory in solo play, but in co-op, the perk has a much more limited purpose. Personally, I think someone on the team should get Quick Revive at about level 15. By that point in the game, you will have allies who are carrying powerful stuff, like a thunder gun, a laser, or some other wonder weapon. Your team needs to keep these players alive so they hold on to said weapons. Quick Revive will help you do that. Before we move on to the next perk, I've got one more thing to cover. Treyarch has been making a joke from day one about Quick Revive. Every character says the drink tastes like fish. At first it was funny, but at a certain point the joke gets old. I've never seen someone cling to such a cheesy joke for such a long time. Seriously, who does that? We got the joke the first time. At a certain point, you're just beating a dead horse. You shouldn't make such a horrible joke so many times. Thank God I've never done that. I like to think that I totally forgot where I was going with this. Perk number 2. Juggernaut.
First one to make a joke about Jugs gets a slap in the face.
Without a doubt, Juggernog is the most powerful and important perk in Zombies. The cost is moderate at 2,500 points, but it's worth the cash. Juggernog doubles your health, thus allowing you to take more hits from the zombies before you are downed. By default, a zombie has to hit you 2 times in quick succession for you to die. With Juggernog equipped, it's going to take somewhere between 4 to 6 times for a zombie to finish you off. The number of hits for a down will highly depend on how fast you are hit. I know it goes without saying, but this perk is monumentous. Juggernog will give you the flexibility to run around the zombies and take the chance of getting hit. You can afford to take 1 or 2 unexpected hits because you literally have become a Juggernaut.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
My point is simple. This perk is mandatory. I don't care what map you're playing. If you can get your hands on Juggernog, you should. Perk number 3. Speed Cola.
Woo! That's a spicy drink. Hope it doesn't come out that way.
Speed Cola is available for the cost of 3,000 points. Better known as the base version of Sleight of Hand in multiplayer, this perk cuts your reload times in half. Speed Cola is simple, yet effective. Your magazines won't last forever. Eventually, you'll need to reload, and when that time comes, this perk will be a huge asset. Speed Cola will help you in just about any situation on any map with any gun. And that's really all I can say. The perk doesn't quite match Juggernog in terms of importance, but it's up there. You can't go wrong if you buy Speed Cola. Perk number 4. Double Tap Root Beer.
Why is this stuff so damn chewy?
Double Tap is very simple. The root beer will up your fire rate by 33%, which is both a blessing and a curse. Let's cover the blessing first. An increased rate of fire means higher damage output. You will quite literally be able to plow the road. The extra power is nice, but it comes at a price. You deplete your magazines quickly, which means you'll be in a constant state of reloading. You should always select Speed Cola to help compensate for this. Double Tap is definitely a solid choice, but I think you'll find you can get by without this perk. Just keep the positives and negatives in mind when deciding if you want Double Tap. Perk number 5. Stamina Up.
That would go well with Revive Soda.
First introduced on the map Ascension, Stamina Up is available for 2,000 points. This perk grants you 2 abilities. First, you can sprint twice as long as normal, and second, your character moves 7% faster. You may better know these abilities as the base versions of Marathon and Lightweight, respectively, from multiplayer. Instead of making you more powerful, Stamina Up helps you survive. The faster movement rate will help you escape tight positions. The extra sprint distance will help you be a better teammate. You can get to a downed friend much quicker and hopefully save someone you would have otherwise lost. I won't oversell the perk. Most of the maps are smaller, so you really don't need Stamina. This perk really only fits on bigger maps like Ascension or Call of the Dead. You need the extra mobility to cover the map's long distances. If you're not playing one of these maps, I'd say avoid Stamina. The perk isn't bad, you just have better options and other choices. Perk number 6. PhD Flopper.
This drink gives me gas.
Ah yes, the Flopper. This perk is such a weird mix of abilities, and it's available for a meager cost of 2,000 points. When equipped, you won't take any fall damage, and you are completely immune to explosive damage. The immunity to falls isn't that noticeable, but the reduced explosive damage will open up your options for how to play. You can use a launcher or the laser at point blank range and not have to worry about dying from your own explosives. Still, that's not why people know about the Flopper. Oh no. We know this perk for the explosive belly flop. If you do a dolphin dive into a jump that would normally cause fall damage, this perk will kick in and ignite a huge explosion. I'm going to repeat that. You need to do a dolphin dive into a fall that would normally hurt you for this perk to kick in. I'd love to know how Treyarch thought this ability up. I mean, I love doing the belly flop as much as the next person, but I haven't seen anything this silly in something zombies related since, well... The explosion itself is very powerful. You'll be able to get a one-hit kill with the flopper up until about level 17. Despite the strength of the explosion, I'm still not a fan of the perk overall. The explosive immunity is the best ability the perk offers, and I honestly don't find that to be all that useful. You've already got Juggernaut to protect you from explosives, so why bother with a second perk that does the same thing? Maybe I'm not giving the perk a fair chance. I openly admit that. Still, I stand by my opinion. The flopper isn't practical. You'd be better off with other perks. Perk number 7. Deadshot Daiquiri.
My body feels drunk, but my eyes feel sober. I don't lie.
I'm not going to bother dancing around it. Deadshot Daiquiri is quite frankly your worst option available. I think Treyarch forgot to make this perk useful. When equipped, your guns are more accurate and fired from the hip. But honestly, who gives a f***? Most weapons already do just fine when hip firing. You don't need smaller crosshairs. The zombies aren't that hard to hit. I should be fair though, you get one more ability. Normally, aim assist will guide your gun towards the enemy's chest when aiming down the sight. Deadshot Daiquiri changes this auto target to the enemy's head. While that sounds great, the effect is at best minimal. Once you get your weapon on target, your crosshair will stop auto-aiming and you'll have to guide the shots yourself. Don't bother with this perk. I appreciate that the devs tried to give us something unique and fun, but let's be honest here. The Deadshot Daiquiri is not practical. You will be far better off with a different perk. Perk number 8. Mule Kick.
Finally, a cold cerveza. Tastes like some kind of friggin' import, but it'll do.
Available only on Moon, Mule Kick is the latest addition to the zombies perk arsenal. This one's really quite simple. Mule Kick costs a whopping 4,000 points, but will allow you to carry a third gun. While fighting on the Moon's surface, Mule Kick will really come in handy. Ammo tends to be scarce, and the combat will vary depending on where you're fighting. You can keep a wonder weapon, a moneymaker, and even a wall weapon. You gain the flexibility to diversify your loadout, and really have some fun. Be warned though, you'll want to couple this perk with Speed Cola. The last thing you want to do is switch to that third weapon, only to find out that you forgot to reload it earlier. With Mule Kick done, that's the end of the perks. It's hard for me to tell you what combinations will work. You have 8 total perks, but are limited to a selection of 4 by default. The only way to learn what works and what doesn't is to try out as many combinations as possible that you think might be fun. Never be afraid to use a weird combo. You just might stumble upon a mix of perks that really jive well together. This has been Raging Amish. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll join me next week, where I'll be covering the secondaries in zombies. Until then, remember, brains.